What if the problem you believe is holding you back is not the real problem at all? What if the frustration, the embarrassment, the silent anxiety you carry is rooted in a misunderstanding that has quietly shaped your confidence, your relationships, and even your sense of identity as a man? Today we confront a truth that many avoid but desperately need to understand. Premature ejaculation and erectile dysfunction are not the same condition, yet countless men confuse them, suffer in silence, and pursue the wrong solutions for years. This confusion is not just medical, it is emotional, psychological, and deeply personal. When a man struggles in the bedroom, he often labels it simply as performance issues, without understanding the mechanics behind what is actually happening in his body. Premature ejaculation involves climax occurring sooner than desired, often with minimal stimulation, leaving both partners feeling unsatisfied and confused. Erectile dysfunction, on the other hand, is the difficulty in achieving or maintaining an erection firm enough for satisfying intercourse. These are two different physiological processes, controlled by different pathways in the body, influenced by different hormones, neurotransmitters, and psychological triggers. Yet because both affect intimacy, they are frequently lumped together, leading to misdiagnosis and mistreatment. This is where clarity becomes power. When you understand the distinction, you stop blaming yourself blindly and start asking smarter questions. You begin to recognize that rushing to take medication designed for erection strength will not solve an issue rooted in ejaculatory timing. You realize that focusing only on stamina techniques will not fix a problem connected to blood flow or vascular health. Knowledge changes your posture. It replaces shame with strategy. Inspired by the educational philosophy of Dr. Mohit Khera, we must approach men's health, not with fear, but with science and self-respect. The body is not your enemy. It is communicating. Stress, anxiety, hormonal imbalance, cardiovascular health, neurological signaling, and relationship dynamics all play roles, but they do not play the same roles in every condition. When men treat premature ejaculation as erectile dysfunction, improvement is delayed. When erectile dysfunction is mistaken for premature ejaculation, frustration multiplies. The result is a cycle of trial and error that erodes confidence over time. But the moment you separate these two conditions in your mind, something powerful happens. You regain control. You move from confusion to clarity. And clarity is the foundation of transformation. This journey begins not with medication, but with understanding. Because when you know the difference, you stop fighting the wrong battle, and you start preparing to win the right one. Now, here is where the deeper truth begins to unfold, and it may surprise you. Many men who believe they are facing erectile dysfunction are actually experiencing performance anxiety triggered by a history of premature ejaculation. And many who think they ejaculate too quickly are unknowingly reacting to inconsistent erection quality that makes them rush intimacy out of fear. This psychological crossover creates a dangerous loop. The mind starts anticipating failure before the body even responds, and anticipation alone can alter neurological signaling. Dopamine, serotonin, adrenaline, and cortisol begin shifting in patterns driven more by fear than by physiology. The body tightens, breathing becomes shallow, focus narrows, and instead of being present, a man becomes a spectator of his own anxiety. In that state, timing changes. Blood flow changes, sensation changes, and suddenly, what began as a minor issue evolves into a layered condition that feels overwhelming. This is why treating the wrong problem does not just delay improvement, it compounds the struggle. Medication designed to enhance erection firmness will not correct hypersensitive ejaculatory reflex pathways. Behavioral techniques aimed at delaying climax will not resolve vascular insufficiency. And when men experiment blindly, the lack of consistent results reinforces doubt. Doubt then becomes the true adversary. Inspired by the educational clarity often emphasized by Dr. Mohit Khera, we must recognize that sexual health is not a single switch, but a coordinated symphony of neurological, hormonal, psychological, and vascular systems working together. If one instrument is slightly out of tune, the entire performance feels disrupted. But you cannot tune the violin by adjusting the drums. Suspense builds here because the real danger is not the condition itself, it is misdirection. When men avoid professional evaluation and rely solely on internet myths, supplements without evidence, or anecdotal advice from friends, they gamble with time. And time matters. Early intervention often leads to faster recovery, stronger confidence, and healthier relationships. The longer confusion persists, the more the brain associates intimacy with stress rather than connection. Neural pathways strengthen around fear. The body learns the pattern. That is why understanding the distinction between premature ejaculation and erectile dysfunction is not just academic, it is transformational. One condition primarily concerns timing of climax, often linked to serotonin regulation, penile sensitivity, and psychological arousal patterns. The other primarily concerns erection rigidity and maintenance, frequently influenced by vascular health, testosterone levels, and endothelial function. These differences demand different strategies, and yet the greatest revelation is this: both conditions are treatable. Neither defines your masculinity. Neither is a life sentence. But only one can be addressed effectively when correctly identified. The suspense lies in recognizing that the solution you have been chasing may not be the solution you actually need. And once that realization settles in, a new chapter of clarity begins. The final and most empowering realization is this: once you clearly understand whether you are facing premature ejaculation or erectile dysfunction, your path forward becomes intentional instead of desperate. Intention changes everything. Instead of randomly trying pills, techniques, or advice that may not apply to your condition, you begin building a focused strategy rooted in science, discipline, and self-awareness. If the challenge is premature ejaculation, then the solution may involve behavioral training, pelvic floor strengthening, improved arousal control, stress reduction, and in some cases, medically guided serotonin modulation. If the challenge is erectile dysfunction, then attention must turn toward cardiovascular health, hormone balance, blood flow optimization, sleep quality, weight management, and evidence-based medical therapies that support vascular function. These are not interchangeable paths. They are distinct roads leading to the same destination: restored confidence and satisfying intimacy. This is why education is power. When men avoid clarity, they delay progress. When they confront reality with courage, improvement accelerates. The philosophy often reflected by Dr. Mohit Khera is grounded in responsibility and hope working together. Responsibility means acknowledging that your body reflects your habits, stress levels, and health patterns. Hope means understanding that the body is remarkably capable of recovery when given the right support. Many men silently believe their struggle defines their masculinity, but masculinity is not measured by a single moment in the bedroom. It is measured by resilience, discipline, and the willingness to seek the correct solution. When you stop labeling yourself as broken and start viewing yourself as a system that needs calibration, everything shifts. You become proactive instead of reactive. You ask better questions. You seek professional guidance instead of guessing. You track progress instead of panicking over isolated setbacks. And most importantly, you rebuild trust with your own body. Sexual health is deeply connected to mental clarity, cardiovascular strength, hormonal balance, and emotional stability. Improving it often improves your entire life. Better sleep enhances testosterone regulation. Regular exercise improves blood flow and confidence. Mindfulness reduces anxiety that interferes with performance. Healthy communication strengthens intimacy beyond physical mechanics. This journey is bigger than one condition. It is about reclaiming control over your health narrative. The difference between premature ejaculation and erectile dysfunction is not just medical terminology. It is the difference between wandering in confusion and walking with direction. When you choose direction, you choose growth. When you choose growth, you choose confidence. And confidence transforms how you show up in every area of life. You are not alone in this process. You are not defined by temporary setbacks. You are defined by your decision to understand, act, and improve.